I'm Monica Frenden. I'm the cat program manager at Austin Pets Alive, and we're going to talk about how to get special needs cats adopted this morning. So, as you know, I'm a sucker for quotes. This is one of my favorites from Michael Mountain, who was with Best Friends. And this is something we deal with a lot at Austin Pets Alive, and it's how we come up with ideas about how to get special animals adopted or what we're going to do with them, because killing is never an option for us. It's never on the table. So when we get the email from a rescue partner that a cat has feline leukemia and is feral and he has stomatitis and ringworm and calicivirus and everything else in the world wrong with it, that cat is coming. It is coming to Austin Pets Alive. It's not in question. And it's not in question that we're not going to euthanize it unless we have to euthanize it. That starts breeding, what are we going to do with this cat? We have to start thinking of an outcome for it. If killing was on the table, it'd be pretty convenient to just go, well, geez, he's got all these things wrong with it. Let's just euthanize him. That is never an option for us. And so I think that's where the creativity comes from, of how we're going to create programs to get special needs cats adopted and how we're going to get them placed. Mother of invention. So by now you probably know that Austin Pets Alive, our model is taking nothing but special needs, really. We work only from the euthanasia list. In Austin, because we have such an amazing city animal shelter, for an animal to be on the attention list, the euthanasia list, every night in Austin, the cat has got to have lots wrong with it. So our programs are specifically designed for just those last 2% of cats that we're pulling now from the city of Austin that have these issues wrong with them. So we've set up programs specifically to identify populations of cats that were being euthanized at the city shelter. Ringworm cats, neonatal kittens, feral cats, feline leukemia cats, and then of course we had to have the foster network to help save those cats, and we have the largest foster network in the country. Thank God, because so many of these cats need extra time in foster to rehabilitate. So our key principles for how we're going to get these guys adopted. Again, I've tried to boil it down to things that you can replicate no matter where you are in your journey of getting special needs cats adopted. For us, we had to figure out exactly what the population was that needed help. Because when you have 1,000 cats coming in every day, it's easy to they all just kind of blend together. We've had to figure out exactly what the population was that needed special attention. I'm a firm believer that if a cat has a special need, it should have a special price, meaning adoption fee. They've got to have targeted, unique marketing. More marketing than a regular cat and different marketing than a regular cat. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk a lot about ways that you're going to abolish roadblocks to adoption. So all these cats have something that makes it hard for most people to adopt them. And we've got to figure out exactly what that roadblock is, what's preventing most people from adopting a special needs cat, and how we can get rid of that. So identifying our special need, this is what I call our long stay cat spreadsheet. So once a week we run a report, and it will list the length of stay for every cat, and we consider a long stay cat a cat that's been with us for 100 days or more. So this report will list exactly what their adoption obstacle is and what we're doing about it. You can see this is a pretty current list. The adoption obstacle for the most of our long stay cats is incontinent. They've got chronic medical concerns, behavior, feline leukemia, whatever the issue is. That's important to realize so that you know where the bulk of your issues are coming from. You've got to identify that problem so you can create a program to address the incontinent cats or to address the leukemia cats or whatever your roadblocks are, so those cats aren't just sitting in foster for years being forgotten about. This is our action plan for long stay cats. So with 1,000 cats in our program at any given time, it'd be pretty easy to forget about one that's at a PetSmart 20 minutes north and is not at the forefront of somebody's attention for some reason. So we created this to make sure that no cat is being forgotten about or left behind, and it also brings long stay cats up to our attention. So it says it's 60 days. Staff is going to alert the cat behavior team manager that a cat has been there for 60 days. And at that point, we're going to evaluate the cat. We're going to see why it's not been adopted yet. Maybe it just needs a change of venue. Maybe it just needs new photos online. It needs rebranding. But we're going to evaluate the cat and see how it's doing. If it's doing well enough at 60 days, wherever it is, it can stay there, but it's now on our radar. If a cat has been in one of our adoption centers at 90 days, it's automatically getting pushed to our marketing team. So we're going to tell the marketing team this cat has been there for 90 days. Create an action plan for it, create a marketing push of some sort to get this cat adopted. And that could mean we're doing an Instagram push, we're putting it on Facebook, we're taking some nice photos. We're going to send a photographer up to its location and dress it up in clothes and put some photos online. We're doing something to try and get that cat adopted. And it also says that if this cat has been in a cage or a crate or condo at 90 days, it's going to a foster break for a minimum of 2 weeks. We don't want anybody sitting in a cage for 90 days. That's not where we want to go with no kill. So this is an action plan. And again, if you want any of these documents or anything, jot down your email address for me and tell me what you want, and our team will get it to you. So we have a progressive fee structure for our cats at Austin Pets Alive. The longer a cat has been with us, the more reduced its adoption fee is. We have no fee for senior cats. Those are cats over 7 years of age. No fee for feline leukemia cats, barn cats, incontinent cats, diabetic cats, and very naughty cats. If a cat has been with us for 100 days, their adoption fee is 25% off. 200 days, 50% off. 300 days, 75% off. And that will get updated all the time, once a week we do. We do have a pair discount if you're adopting 2 cats, $30 off. Our fosters get a 25% discount. Ringworm cats are always 50% off. Cats with extreme medical conditions are always 50% off if they're not already fee waived. Okay, so we'll get into how we're going to market these guys. This is a screen cap of our website. If you want to adopt a cat, you can go to a site that specifically says cats that need you most, and it will break down on there feline leukemia cats, super seniors, catzillas, and we'll talk about catzillas in just a second. There are very, very naughty cats. It'll break down and put into obvious places those cats that are very, very special, because you do have people who are heroes and who want to go out and adopt a cat who's been there the longest with you, or who really needs help, or maybe they have a feline leukemia cat at home and they're looking for another. So we want to make it very easy for them to find those cats that have special needs if they're looking, and not have to wade through 1,000 cats on our main available cat site. So marketing does not equal counseling. And if you got a chance to hear Kristen Auerbach speak this conference about marketing and counseling, there's a big difference between marketing and counseling. So if you make a post or you make a bio for a cat, do you lead with, this cat has renal failure and he's diabetic, but he's really fluffy and nice? No one's gonna take a chance to hear some more about Fluffy with the renal failure. It's not that you're misleading people, but you need to sell a cat on its good qualities and get people interested before you talk about the things that are maybe not so great about Fluffy. So marketing is not counseling. Save your caveats for counseling, not for marketing. You can certainly put at the bottom of your biography that Fluffy has some special needs, but you don't want to make it first and foremost. Lead with the great things about Fluffy all the time. Here's some of the ways that we are marketing special needs cats. We've got an APA Pets Alive Senior Cats Facebook page that is run strictly by volunteers who love our senior cats. We've got an Incontinent Cats and Kittens page that we run with Austin Animal Center for all of our incontinent cats and kittens. We've got an Instagram feed just for our special cats, and the Adopted Beeps Facebook page. If you'll notice, the web address for her is actually World's Worst Cat. She was very special, and if you want to go to that Facebook page and learn a little about how to market very naughty cats, she was a prime example. She's had a bunch of media articles written about the success that this Facebook page had in getting her adopted. Beeps was my office cat for the better part of 3 years? Over 900 days. She is literally the worst cat in the world. I love her dearly, of course, because I love sassy cats, but this is a cat who would just bite. And she wasn't mean, she was not aggressive, she wasn't scared. She was just a monster, and she would just come up and rub on you and then bite you. I was interviewing our marketing manager one day, and she bit her in the boob. Jumped up on her lap and bit her in the boob. And we still hired this wonderful lady. But this was this cat, and she also hated other cats. So anyone who was a super savvy cat lover couldn't take her home because they already had cats at home. She was with us for 900 and some days. We made this Facebook page for her, and it was written in the third person. It was written as Beeps. And it talked about just flat out how awful she was. And it would make jokes about, like, I'm going to bite you, and, you know. Beeps got a home, how long after the Facebook page went live? Like 12 days?
Yeah, it was
or something. It got huge traction and got shared all over, and a lady started messaging Beeps, and Beeps would reply as Beeps. And the two fell in love. And the lady came and met her. Beeps bit the adopter the first time. The lady said, that's fine. I still love this cat. I fell in love with her via her Facebook page. I love this cat. I love this cat. She came back again. Beeps bit her again. She said, that's fine. She adopted her. And the page is now run by the adopter. That's why it's Adopted Beeps. It used to be Adopt Beeps. And it's still run by her. And the lady, coincidentally, is a marketing professional. And so she has done lots of reports and put things online about the amazing results that this had and how to achieve similar results for pets using the model that she found on Adopted Beeps and the reach that this Facebook page had. So definitely go there if you're interested in some creative marketing for really difficult cats. And we will do this we'll create a custom Facebook page for really difficult cats or dogs. And there's some different ways that you can do it, but it's definitely a good, free, cheap option if you have a creative writer on your staff, somebody who's very funny, or somebody who has great photo skills. It's definitely a good way to work, but check out The World's Worst Cat on Facebook if you want a cute lesson in marketing about demonic cats. Yesterday in the adoption presentation, we talked a little bit about our cat matchmaker program, and if you weren't there, I kind of talked about how it was this aha moment for me where this was a program that I said we should have had forever. And I want to talk a little bit about it today in regards to how we're getting our special needs cats adopted through our Matchmaker program. This is something that you guys should have running now. Even if you're adopting 5 cats a year, please start a cat Matchmaker program. You are not going to regret it. And so Natasha is with us today. She is our lead for the cat Matchmaker team. This program is her baby. She runs the entire team that handles this. And she's going to talk a little bit about the Matchmaker program and how it can help you guys adopt special needs and what it's done for us in the last year. November's our 1 month anniversary for it.
So I started Matchmakers about a year ago, almost to the day I got my first email. Since that time, about 200 cats have been adopted through the program. That includes 5 incontinent cats, 2 diabetic cats, 18 ringworm cats, 3 cats with feline leukemia, and 23 with other varying medical conditions ranging from chronic kidney disease to even one with terminal cancer. Basically, it's an entirely email-run, volunteer-run format. So the point of it is to make the adoption process personal. So when they email me, it's basically like talking to a friend. I don't have any forms to fill out. I don't have anything like that. They just send me an email, tell me what they're looking for, and I reply back with generally around 3 cats to recommend to them. I always try to include a special needs cat in the email. I never push a cat on anybody, unless they're, sometimes they're asking specifically for special needs cats, and then I'll, go all out and just send like a very long email about all the cats in our program. But the most important thing is just to be very personal and to always be available to answer questions. So I found like the number one thing is to reply promptly, otherwise people will feel they're being forgotten about, and then they're going to go look elsewhere for cats. The other big thing is that it's essentially a synthesis of all the other programs in Austin Pets Live. I have to know about incontinent cats, I have to know about diabetic cats, I have to know about ringworm cats, because people are going to have questions. And if I don't know specifically about that cat, then I have somebody on the team that can, or I have a friend in our program that does know the answer to that question. So I also have the Ringworm program manager on my team, so if I have ringworm specific questions, then she's available to answer as well. Additionally, marketing is also super crucial for the program too. If there's a cat on the website who doesn't have a description, doesn't have photos, doesn't matter if I have those things, if I send it to them via email, if I can't link it to them on the website, they almost never adopt that cat. So just make sure that you have good marketing out there for specific cats that you need a boost for. Back to you, Monica.
Cool. Anybody have any questions going forward or to this point? Nope. Yep.
How do you feel about a rescue group adopting now cats with keyhole or obviously
Okay, so the question is, how do we feel about adopting cats out with upper respiratory infection or minor illness, and do we think it's going to reflect badly on the organization? So we adopt cats out all the time with minor illness, URI, ringworm, diarrhea, whatever. They go home with their treatment course that our vets have prescribed them. It has not reflected badly on us, and I think there's a lot of rescues that are doing that. They're adopting out cats with minor illness. We are disclosing it. We're saying we've been diagnosed with upper respiratory infection. The cat is currently on doxycycline for that. Your course is 10 days. These are the things you're watching for. If it gets any worse, if the cat stops eating, that kind of a thing, you're going to need to follow up with your vet. But we haven't seen any bad pushback from that at all. I think people understand that the animals inside of a shelter are coming from, they've been homeless, they're coming from impoundment. They're not necessarily in the best places in their life when they're at a shelter. And people have been very understanding about, hey, you've taken this cat in, it was sick when you got it, your vets have looked at it, you're sending me home with the medication. I think people are very, very understanding and don't mind. And the other thing is that animals with minor illness like that heal much faster in a real home than they do in the shelter. So if it takes 10 days for them to recover from URI in the shelter, it's often far less than that in the home. And so people don't have necessarily the ongoing URI problems that a shelter does. So this flyer hangs in all of our cat adoption centers. So if someone comes in and they did not find the exact cat that they came for, we tear off a little thing and give it to them and say, please email the cat concierge team. We have business cards too. They sit right by our door. We basically tell anybody who came in, if you didn't find the cat that you were looking for, please email us. We also have this on our website that says, our website, I mean, it's literally 1,000 cats, and adopters have to scroll through it. And there's a couple search functions, but you know how Pet Finder and everything feeds to your website, you have to really kind of dig through 1,000 cats if you're an adopter to find anything that you're looking for. So it'll say right on our website, like, do you need help finding exactly what you're looking for? Do you have specific criteria? Do you not want to waste your time? Email our cat matchmakers. They're going to get back to you by the end of the day with a custom list of 3 to 5 cats or whatever it is that you're looking for. It's been, how many emails do you get per day, Natasha?
Generally, we've gotten over 500 total, so I would guess a couple a day. There's not a super massive volume, but it's also just we market it a lot because I maintain good relationships with a lot of the marketing people. So if I say, hey, we haven't been getting a whole lot of emails, and I will send a message to Krista Melanda or somebody else. I'm going to say we need a boost, and we've done some fun gimmicky things, like have a personality quiz where we'll match you with a cat, and then we'll also post a link at the end too. So.
Yeah, we should have put a slide of that up. Natasha created a quiz, and it's like one of those BuzzFeed quizzes that we all see on Facebook, and it said which APA long stay cat is your perfect choice. And you answered a bunch of fun questions in the traditional fun BuzzFeed quiz style, and it pointed you to a long stay Austin Pets Alive cat, and that got really, really good traction online. People were like, oh, it's super fun, a cat quiz. That was a good way. We'll also just occasionally post to Facebook and whatnot that, hey, did you know we have this team? Are you looking for a cat? Are you looking for something very specific? We have this team who can help you. Okay. Mega cat. So we're going to talk about how we're going to abolish those roadblocks to adoption. So when we're talking about special needs, cost is, of course, probably the number one barrier that people come up with for why they think they can't adopt a special needs cat. Typically, if it's medical, it's going to require medication or some sort of cost, prescription food maybe. So we've got to think about how we can eliminate the cost barrier. Can people provide the ongoing care is another one. Depending on what your illness is, you know, one option is, can the shelter provide that ongoing care for you? If it's like feline leukemia, for us, we provide the ongoing care for free. If you're a feline leukemia cat, Austin Pets Alive will pay for all of your leukemia-related illnesses for the rest of the cat's life. We have found that that is very inexpensive for us to do. So that is one way that we've provided the ongoing care, so that's not a concern for adopters. You don't have to worry about taking home a very expensive cat. We also can provide special diets or meds for cats. I don't know if you guys, your shelter is like ours, but we are often inundated with cat food and prescription cat foods. We have so much renal cat food, I don't know where it all comes from, but hundreds of pounds of renal cat food arrives every week. So that is something we can give to adopters if you adopt out a renal cat. So the question was, if we're providing ongoing care, do we follow up with the adopter, or does the adopter contact us, and which of our teams handles that? So if you adopt a special needs cat with us that we have agreed to provide ongoing care for, the adopter just contacts our medical clinic, it schedules an appointment, and then our medical team handles that from there. We've partnered with a lot of private vets and clinics and foundations to help with our special needs cats. We're very lucky in Austin that we've got lots of private vet clinics that will work with us. One of the clinics that we work with provides free ringworm follow-up treatment. So that's really nice. We can send them in with a voucher and they get free treatment. We've got lots of feline leukemia friendly vets in our area. We've partnered with other clinics that can help, foundations that can help. There's lots of foundations out there for special needs cats who exist to help shelters place them. There's Special Cats in Need. There's diabetic cats in need. There's lots of foundations that exist to help you help these cats. Google for them and hunt them out and sign up. We provide a lot of training on special care that cats will need. So if you don't know how to give subcutaneous fluids and you adopt a renal cat, we are more than happy to show you how to do that. You'll go into our medical clinic and one of our techs or a veterinarian will show you how to administer subcutaneous fluids or give medications or give injections, whatever it is that the kitty will need. Expressing bladders, we do a lot of help training people how to express bladders for incontinent cats. We have a lot of, our vet team will be more than happy to show you how to do all of that if you're interested in adopting a special need cat. Finding inexpensive workarounds is something that we do really well at Austin Pets Alive. One example is diabetic cat foods. A lot of people are afraid of adopting a diabetic cat because they think it has to have the prescription food, and sometimes it does have to have prescription food, but not always. There's a list floating around on Google that is fantastic, and it is over-the-counter grocery store foods that are safe for diabetic cats. And it's a ton of brands like Friskies, certain kinds of Friskies, or certain kinds of 9 Lives are approved for diabetic cats. I think, how many foods are on that list, Natasha? Maybe 100 or so?
Yeah,
that
there's
you
a
can,
lot. Like Fancy Feast is the biggest
yeah,
one.
there's about 100 cat foods that are actually safe for diabetics to eat that you can pick up at the grocery store. So if you can provide inexpensive workarounds like that for people, it now becomes much easier and cheaper to adopt a diabetic cat if it just has to have a certain kind of 9 Lives instead of the prescription DM that you have to get from your vet every month. We've also got an adopters Facebook group, and this is something that's taken off wildly in the last couple of years. It probably gets 200 posts a day. It's wildly active. It's for anybody who adopts a cat or a cat or dog from us, but it has become a place of support for all of our adopters, whether they're having behavior trouble or having health problems, or they need a pet sitter, or they just want to post 1 million photos of their cat and dog. And it has really helped people connect with, hey, I adopted a cat with chronic kidney disease. Is anybody else going through this? And several other people will pop up and say, yeah, I'm going through this too. Here's the sub-Q fluids work for me. Helps if I heat them up. There's formal support for one another, and they can see that they're not the only ones going through this or who have adopted a special needs cat. It builds a sense of camaraderie. Okay, so we're going to get into our specific conditions and how we adopt out some of these special needs cats. You all have ringworm cats and kittens? Dozens. The biggest thing, is anybody from a part of the country where they treat ringworm like the plague? Yeah. Like you've got to have a hazmat suit to touch the cat and put on your booties and your, you know. It was like that when I worked up north. In the south, we see a lot more ringworm than we did in Chicago. In the south, it's not anywhere near as big of a deal, but some shelters still do treat it like you're going to get the plague if you come anywhere near the ringworm cats. So a lot of what we do is deliberately poking fun at ringworm. Ringworm has never killed anyone. Ringworm will go away on its own if you do nothing. So it's not something that I feel like we need to treat like the plague. Might you get ringworm? Mm-hmm. It's not going to kill you either. So a lot of what we do is poke fun at ringworm. We make fun of it by hosting silly, ridiculous adoption events like Lord of the Ringworm and Hairless Potter and The Bald and the Beautiful and Ringworm in the New Year. And we make wildly ridiculous, obnoxious ringworm adoption events for cats like this. And we talk about ringworm. It's a fungus. It's like athlete's foot. It's in their fur. It's not going to kill them. Is it inconvenient? Yes. It's not going to kill them. It's not going to kill you if you get it. Yes, you're going to need to bleach your bathroom down. In exchange for that, though, it's half off the adoption fee. And we're going to send you home with the lime dip and the oral antifungals that the cat is on. In the South, we're a little bit lucky because half of our adopters will come in and be like, oh yeah, I had ringworm as a kid like 25 times. I don't care. Or they have kids who are wrestlers, and apparently wrestlers get ringworm constantly from the mats and whatnot. But our ringworm ward is open to the public. You can come in and visit with the cats. You don't have to gown up and put on your respirator mask. You can just go in and visit with the cats and touch and hold them. You're going to sign a little waiver when you come in the front door. It says, I know I might get ringworm by going in here. But you can come in. We will have events just for ringworm cats. So we'll do that a lot in the winter when all we have left are kittens with ringworm and people are looking for kittens. And so we'll have an adoption event. No, Fee Wave adoption kitten event this weekend. Guess what? They're ringworm. So if you want a free kitten this weekend, this is what we have. We'll do about, we're actually at about 220 ringworm adoptions so far this year. We'll do 350-ish before the end of the year. We'll treat about 500 cats and kittens with ringworm every year. If we kept them all and warehoused them until they were completely treated, we would just be inundated and the program expenses would be twice as much. They can be adopted with ringworm. They are adopted with ringworm. We always give them follow-up advice. They're always welcome to answer or contact our ringworm adoption team if they have any trouble about treatment when they go home. We're always available to them. But I think part of the biggest thing you can do for ringworm is just make fun of that condition, get rid of the stigma, encourage people to come in and talk about it and to learn about what ringworm is and just stop treating it like the plague. Feline leukemia, these are cats that are very near and dear to my heart. Is anybody adopting out feline leukemia cats? Oh my God, that is fantastic. That is wonderful. That's music to my ears. So we've done about 55 feline leukemia adoptions so far this year. I'm hoping to hit in the 60s or 70s. We have a feline leukemia adoption center at Austin Pets Alive. It is also open to the public 24/7. People can come in, or not 24/7, but all during our business hours, it's open to the public. People can come in. A lot of feline leukemia is going to be pushing education. Most people don't know what feline leukemia is, or if they do, they've heard that these cats are sick, they're suffering, they need to be euthanized, it's the only humane option. That's what their private vets are telling them, that's what's out in the community. As soon as it's diagnosed, it's just best to euthanize them. That's what we're told. And so by having our feline leukemia adoption center where people can come in and interact with cats who are free roaming in this room, we kind of challenge them to come in and show me the cat who is sick and suffering and who needs to be euthanized. Please pick that cat out who you'd like me to go euthanize right now, who's suffering so badly. Because as all of you know, you can't tell a feline leukemia positive cat from a negative cat. They're perfectly happy and healthy until they are terminal and succumb to the illness, if they are terminal and succumb to the illness. So a lot of education on this. We had last year our very first Feline Leukemia Fest. We call leukemia cats Felvies, F-E-L-V, so it was our Felvie Fest, very first adoption event just for those cats. We had a lot of sponsors, our local pet food stores and whatnot wanted to contribute to this. We had the news come out. We did a lot of educational reach for feline leukemia cats. They also have no adoption fee, of course. We provide all the medical care for these cats for the remainder of their life, anything that is related to the feline leukemia virus. What we have found is that for the life of the cat, this costs us about $50. We'll also provide free end-of-life care. Cats in renal failure, we've got a special protocol for them. If you adopt a cat who is in renal failure, you get a special waiver that says we will give you the subcutaneous fluids, the needles, and the lines for the life of the cat for free. We will give you the renal food if we have it. We will do end-of-life services for you if you adopt a renal cat. We have our Catzilla program for very, very naughty cats. We feature them online. Believe it or not, there are people who want to adopt very naughty cats. We get people who come in that want a sassy cat. In our cattery, our main adoption center at Town Lake, if you have been there, our group room 5 is the naughty room. We have a naughty room just for naughty cats. And they get adopted. They really do. They also have no adoption fee. All cats come with lifelong free support from our cat behavior team, which I think I've talked a little bit about. But our cat behavior team is free for the life of every cat adopted from Austin Pets Alive for whatever your issue is, but specifically they will help our Catzillas. Diabetic cats have no adoption fee. Like I talked about, we have that alternative to prescription foods that we will make available to adopters. We have partnered with a couple organizations who give us diabetic supplies. So people insulin is the same as cat insulin, and you can reuse testing strips and all those fun supplies. So we have partnered with some of our senior centers and assisted living communities to get their donated diabetic supplies. We can pass those on to adopters to help ease the burden and cost of adopting a diabetic cat. We've partnered with Diabetic Cats in Needs, who markets our diabetic cats for adoption and provides free supplies. They do that for all shelters. Senior kitties, no cat above 7 years has an adoption fee with Austin Pets Alive. If you've been into our main adoption center, you'll notice that the very first group room is our senior center. So much like the grocery store, you have to walk past what they want you to buy before you can get to what you're really there looking for. You have to go past our seniors before you can see any kittens. Thankfully, we don't have a senior cat problem in Austin. We have really good luck with getting them adopted. That's been fantastic for us. I think our oldest adoption was 21. So major illness or injury, what we do if you've got a major illness with our cats, we call them an MC, a medical consult cat. Those cats have a mandatory veterinary visit before the adopter has to meet with our veterinarian before they can finalize the adoption. That puts their mind at ease, the adopter's mind, because they can ask a veterinarian any questions that they have about that illness or that disease or that terminal condition. And our veterinarian can also explain to them with full confidence exactly what's wrong, exactly what's going to be required of the adopter. And from a liability perspective, a licensed veterinarian has told this adopter exactly what the condition is, exactly what the care is going to be. And it really helps the adopter feel more confident taking that cat home who's got a serious condition if they can sit and have a one-on-one talk with a veterinarian as they're adopting. So we will adopt cats out with major illness or injury all the time. There's always continued support available. Any cat who has that medical consult is 50% off. Incontinent kitties, also no adoption fee. They do have that Facebook page like I was talking about. Incontinent cats and diabetic cats are the only two cats who we will allow to be adopted out of the area, out of state. For incontinent cats, we have actually arranged transport and they've gone across the country. It is really hard to find homes for incontinent cats. We will not lie, this is our biggest struggle at Austin Pets Alive. Natasha actually fostered an incontinent cat who is now living in Oregon.
Yeah, she's living in Coos Bay, Oregon. Basically, we did like a train. We went through a volunteer organization and completely volunteer, completely free. And they set up a train of people to drive her all the way up there. So that was pretty cool. Incontinent
cats are definitely hard, so that is why we've opened them up to adoption anywhere in the country. Austin Animal Center has partnered with us on that to get them homes wherever they need to, because we've kind of tapped out the market in Austin for incontinent cats. But we've done videos on how to express cats. It's not as hard as everyone seems to think it is, but it's definitely a hard population to adopt. There are adopters out there for them. We've just found that we had to cast a bigger net to get them. So we've adopted, four this year?
More than that. Helen's not included in, so we've adopted out Shenzi, Eros, Helena, Helen, and then Stardust also is fecal incontinent, so it's at least.
Cool. So something we're doing is working with the incontinent cats. So let's talk about what's not a special need. Anybody think FIV is a special need? Maybe your shelter makes you treat it as a special need? FIV cats have no special needs. There's no reason they cannot live with other cats. There's no reason they can't be adopted with other cats. If the cat is not a fighter, it is not a special need for us. Our FIV cats live with everybody else in Gen Pop. They're not segregated. We, of course, disclose the FIV to potential adopters, but it is not an issue. We don't have any trouble adopting FIV cats in Austin, and I think the number one reason is because we don't treat it like a special need. We're supposed to be the experts when people come into our shelters to adopt. So if we're not treating the cat like it's special, why would the adopter assume that it's special? There's tons of research out online. If you need help convincing your shelter director or your vet that FIV cats don't need to be separated, please Google a study by Dr. Annette Litster, Litster, of Purdue University. She put out an amazing study about 2 years ago, well-published research study that tracked long-term FIV cats and negative cats living together and retested them after years and found that no one tested positive. And comes out and definitively says, from a research standpoint, stop quarantining these cats, stop failing to adopt them, stop telling adopters they can't adopt them if they have other cats.
Can you say that name again?
Dr. Annette Litster, Litster, Purdue University. So minor illness, like we had a question earlier, do we send them home? Absolutely, all day long. It's not been an issue for us. So I hear from a lot of shelters that they can't adopt a cat out. They're not allowed to adopt a cat out because it scratched someone or it bit someone. We get cats surrendered from other animal shelters all the time that say they can't adopt this cat out because it bit someone. I'm sure all of your contracts are like ours that say it might, it's got a section where you can disclose a bite history if necessary. We always disclose the history. We're not hiding anything from anybody. But most cat bites are provoked. And it's usually an isolated incident unless you've got a cat that's got a serious issue. But disclose the bite, make sure your contract releases you of liability, and adopt the cat out. And of course, tripod and cyclop kitties. Does anybody have any trouble adopting those out? We usually have a wait list for them. Another quote to finish up, because I know you all love silly quotes as much as I do. And I want to close with talking about a cat that was very near and dear to the hearts of everybody at Austin Pets Alive, and he was the pinnacle of a special needs cat. Sir Mikey Chaplin was named after two cats. Mikey, who was a little hoarder cat that came to us, geriatric, no teeth, blind, and came to us from a hoarder case. And Chaplin was a senior cat who was thrown out of a moving vehicle, and we rescued. Both of them passed away, and we felt it fitting to name this cat after them. So he became Sir Mikey Chaplin. So Sir Mikey came to us from San Marcos, just south of here. A Good Sam had found him, and the Good Sam worked at a vet clinic. He had been mauled by a dog and was feline leukemia positive, covered in ringworm, and he had raging stomatitis. The cat had everything in the world wrong with him. He also wasn't the most willing patient. We took his leg off. It couldn't be saved. We took all of his teeth out. We fixed the ringworm. He went through a couple rounds of dental extractions with us. But we would walk past the Feline Leukemia Adoption Center every day, which is conveniently right across from my office, and we would all look at him, and we knew that there was no place else in the world we could think of where this cat would have been safe. And it's cats like Mikey that we all come to work every day for us at Austin Pets Alive. He got adopted. Sir Mikey got adopted. He lived in his home for about a year and a half after adoption. He lived with another one of our Feline Leukemia adopted cats named Toulouse. And Sir Mikey unfortunately passed away this month, earlier in the month. He passed away in a home. He was very, very loved. That is his memorial photo and paw print on the bottom right. But if I wanted to post this up here, because if a cat like Sir Mikey Chaplin can be adopted and get a loving home, there's not a cat in our shelters that can't be adopted and find a loving home if we think creatively and think outside the box and give these cats a chance and take killing off the table, whatever it takes, and then figure out what we need to do to get those cats adopted. All right, well, thank you all so much for coming.